Hey, Shalom. I like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahawah Barak, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect across the four corners of the earth who firmly believe on Yahawah Barak, Yahawashi. Now the thought came into my mind. I'm here at work. I've got some downtime. So Lord willing, I'm able to do this lesson. But the thought came into my mind. Salakia. The thought came into my mind as far as, just to type into Google, the elites plan to chip humanity, 2017. But, this article came up, and we in the time of prophecy, this is what we are called, and Lord willing chosen to do, is to prophesy the words of Yahawah Barak, Yahawashi, and let the people know what is yet to come. Like Apostle Tahar said, brother's going to sound like a broken record, but it is what it is, For repetition is the father of learning, and the more you hear something, the more you prepare yourself for it, So I have an article here, Lord willing, I put the link in the description box. I'm doing it off of my phone, so Lord willing, I'm able to. But it says, Mark of the Beast. Secret plan to implant us all with ID chips by 2017. And here it is. This article, it's a pretty much old article. It came out August 25th, 2016. But it's still prophecy. Still relevant. Because the chip hasn't been mandated yet. But it says exclusive. It's everywhere. GPS tracking, contactless payments, iris recognition. But these handy innovations are just the forerunners of a sinister plot to monitor and track us through tiny chips implanted in our bodies. It says that's if you believe the conspiracy theories that claim we will all be secretly microchipped by the end of next year. So according to this article, certain plans of the elites were, or as far as it being mentioned, was for pretty much the population to be chipped by the end of 2017. Here it is. It's 2017, the year of death, destruction, and diligence. So the more brothers is diligent, the more Yahawah Barak Yahawashi is going to shorten the days for the elect's sake. The more work we put in, the more short the time becomes in which they mandate this chip. That can bring death and destruction upon the wicked of this society. But you have a thing called conspiracy theory, but then you also have conspiracy facts, man. When you look up, when you read Psalms, the 83rd chapter, that was conspiracy, man. Conspiracy just pretty much mean, coming together, like breathing together. But they all came, all of these nations came unto one consent, man, into what? Bringing forth this chip, which is the mark of the beast that the Bible prophesied of well over 2,000 years ago. It says, so I'm going to read that again. It says, that is if you believe the conspiracy theories that claim we will all be secretly microchipped by the end of next year. It may sound like an Orwellian nightmare, but the technology to implant RFID chips into human beings and track their every move has been there for years. RFID stands for radio frequency identification and uses electromagnetic fields to automatically identify and track tags attached to objects, including an implanted chip. A growing conspiracy theory claims we will all soon be chipped through vaccination programs and at birth or be forced to have a contactless microchip instead of money. And that's a conspiracy fact because the Bible prophesied that this will happen thousands of years ago, and we're going to get into that prophecy, because here it is. It says you'll be forced to have contactless microchip instead of money. So what the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, is going to replace the current money, the Federal Reserve note. It says, as with all conspiracies, there are variations on the theory and they vary in extremeness. At the bottom end is the claim that world governments will phase out cash, so the only way you can buy anything is with an implanted chip that can be used to ID and monitor you, because these elites of this society is all about problem, reaction, solution. Here it is. When you check out the World Trade Center, that terrorist attack, with that terrorist attack happening, it devalued the dollar, so these devils may orchestrate another terrorist attack, to where it would pretty much decimate the dollar, eradicate the dollar, and they not knowing where the terrorist attack came from. So now everybody's a domestic terrorist. So in order to prove that you're not a terrorist, you got to take this chip. That's how this devil operates, man. Problem, reaction, solution. Order, ad, chaos. Trying to bring order out of chaos. It says, next up is the theory that the chips will be secretly implanted into children and some adults through vaccination programs. Because what the prophecies say, he calls of all both small and great. It says the most extreme claim ties in with religious conspiracy theorists. Here it is. That goes to show that these elites are paying attention to the prophets, the true men of the Lord, beginning with the apostles at Great Millstone. It says they have said the implanted RFID chip will stand for the mark of the beast as referred to in the book of Revelation. Again, all humans will be forced to take an implant so those in power can know our every detail and monitor our every move. But in those in power, which is scary part, because these devils, they have a God complex, Here it is, the Heavenly Father and his son, knows where everybody is, knows what everybody is doing, so this devil wants to have that same, characteristic, but he uses his technology in order to do so. That's why he'll put cameras in your smart TVs. He'll put cameras, all over the city and street lights, traffic lights, just so he can behold all the people without him actually being seen. Just like the Heavenly Father and by way of his son, as well as his son, can behold everything without being seen, So these elites, they're some real live devils, man, It says, according to the mark of the beast theory, I'm going to say, according to the mark of the beast fact, the Illuminati, or New World Order, as it is also known, an alleged secret organization that actually runs all the government's plans to implant us all, because these devils, they have an agenda, and a lot of people are not really privy to. You got certain individuals that are familiar with the RFID chip. I was just in conversation with one of my coworkers. He's involved with the military, and he pretty much said, I was picking his brain on the matter, and he pretty much said, he said the scary thing about it is they're gonna start with the military, but if they push that on me, I'm gonna tell them I'm out. But it remains to be seen if that's going to be his ultimate decision. He really doesn't know how deep that rabbit hole is going to get. But but he's in the right spirit as far as not wanting to take the chip. But it says this is because you guessed it. Satan really runs the NWO and is returning to Earth, and this is how he will control everyone. Now the Satan that is talking about ultimately is his physical counterpart, which is Esau, Edom. Here it is. Yahawashi said, and Satan's already here. You know what I'm saying? This is his kingdom. Because Yahawashi said, if this were my kingdom, then would my servants fight? But his kingdom is not from hence, So if it's not Yahawashi's kingdom, who is it? It's Satan's, and Satan just comes from the Hebrew, which means Shaitan, which is adversary. And this devil, the so-called white man, is our adversary. However, spiritual demon Satan is using this devil. Ultimately, the Heavenly Father is using this devil, for he created the wicked for the day of evil. It says, the fact, when it says theory, I'm going to replace it with fact because this is a conspiracy fact. This is going to happen. It says the fact is summed up on the nowtheendbegins.com website. In an article about the conspiracy, it said, what is presented on this page is not fantasy or our idea of something that could happen in the near future. Every item here will tell you about advances in technology that either are in place or in the stages of development and about to be released. Every item here will show you not only the plan, but the actual tools that the NWO has in place to track you right now at this very moment, to monitor you and control you. That's why they're constantly, upgrading these smartphones, man, because they're just advancing their ways into monitor you and to track you, and ultimately to control you. Because they're reeling you in, they're reeling you in to make to the point where, you don't want to use a remote control to turn your TV. You can actually just do it by way of your hand, or you don't need to push the button to start your car. You can actually just use the microchip to do it, or you don't need to open a garage door no more with a remote control. You can use your chip to do it. They're easing it in, You know, it said it will be a worldwide system that collects and gathers information and ties it in with personal records of all kinds. You know, and when I read that, Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, you know, when it says, and this temptation shall come upon all the world, you know. So that goes to show that this mark of the beast, which is the microchip, the RFID chip, is going to be tested upon all the inhabitants of the world, man. Oikomene in the Greek. It said it added, this will culminate in a chip implanted in your body that will personally connect you to the system. You know, and it says today you see that information is already being collected when you use your debit card and the loyalty card at the supermarket. Your car has computer chips that enable it to function. Everything is controlled by a chip that feeds the information to various databases around the world. Even the internet itself is part of the system. You know, so when you use your debit card or your credit card that now has this chip in which everyone has it, you know, if you have a debit or credit card, you know, when you use the chip, that gives the elites the information of knowing what type of groceries you like. You know, if you're into protein, you know, if you're constantly in the bar, you know, it tracks, you know, it tracks the things you buy and the places that you actually go to use it, you know. So these devils, the elites, you know, have the upper hand upon you. So they think, you know, they just want to be in your business, you know, but the time is coming to where they want to physically and put that chip inside of you. It says, I'm gonna read that again. It says everything is controlled by a chip that feeds the information to various databases around the world. Even the internet itself is part of this system. Like Google, you know, I believe Apostle Tahar brought it out. You know, when you check out Google, I believe it's Google. It has the 666 in there, you know, and everything is linked to Google now, you know, your email, you know, different social media accounts that you may have, you know, everything's linked to Google. It says, we have become a worldwide connected society whose every move is being tracked and cataloged. That's why certain times when you'll go on a certain website, you know, you'll go on a website and then you'll go on another website and the advertisement of the website you were just on is on another website that you're on. That goes to show that you're being tracked, you know. That's these devils for you, man. It says, for now, Salakia, it says, for now, it's all voluntary and the New World Order has to rely on making cool devices to lure us into wanting to be tracked. iPhones, smartphones, RFID chips. But the day is coming where you will be forced to have a chip put inside your body. When that day comes, you will know who the Antichrist is because he will be one in power over the whole world. You know, so, but, you know, we know that there's many Antichrists, you know. And when I say Antichrist, it's pretty much enemies of the Lord, enemies of Yahawah Barak, you know. But that goes to show, you know, you can't escape it, man. You can't escape it, and there's no getting around it that the RFID chip is the mark of the beast. The NFC chip is the mark of the beast. Here it is, they pushing that biometric system word out there. It's all equivalent to the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. You know, now just to get into some prophecies, you know, the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16, you know, and this is what separates the Bible from all of the books, man. Prophecy. That's why you can't refute it. You can't go against it. The only thing you could do is make different versions of it to try to water it down and to confuse the people. You know, this is Revelation chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. You know, so as we was reading throughout the article, here it is. It's voluntary at the moment. But what? It's going to come a time to where it's going to be forced and mandated, just like health insurance. Health insurance was voluntary, but now it's pretty much mandated, and you will be penalized if you don't have it. You know, as far as, you know, paying the government back, you know. But what? The elect is not going to take that chip, man. The elect is not going to bow down to that chip because the elect know the harsh realities of it. You know, 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to be taken by it. However, when it comes to these other nations, hell, they could take the chip because Yahawashi Yahawashi is not for them any goddamn way, you know. But it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. You know, just like the article mentioned that, you know, babies are going to be, you know, getting this chip, you know, right from birth, You know, certain people going to get it by way of vaccinations. That's why you're not supposed to be getting these vaccines. You know, and others, you know, and they're going to force it upon adults. You know, if you want any type of medication, you're going to have this chip in order to receive it. It's going to be bad out here. That's why it's called the hour of temptation. You know, your usual luxuries that you're used to having, you're not going to be able to have it no more unless you have that chip. You know, and when you and we know that this mark is talking about the chip, because when you look into that Greek word for mark is charagma, which means a thing inserted, implanted. You know, and that's the chip. And it says in the right hand on their foreheads. Pretty much that's an indicator. But if you get it anywhere on your body, you're going to be destroyed, man. It says verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, you know. So that goes to show that this RFID chip is also going to be the new form of currency, because you're not going to be able to buy nor sell unless you have it. That's why they're pushing, you know, for every debit card, for every credit card to have that chip, you know, to program the people to start making payments with a chip, you know. Here it is. They got a chip reader, you know. They got self-checkouts. They're luring the people into accepting that RFID chip, the mark of the beast. But only the elect have their eyes open and can see it, you know, and can see it happening. But 2/3 of the nation of Israel, they're blinded, man. The scriptures say in Isaiah 66:9 on down that they're going to be blinded until the missiles come, man. You know, that's great destruction right there. You know, it says verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And that's where them peons get that from, that the mark of the beast is 666 men that rule the planet Earth. You know, them niggas is simple, man. You know, Yahawah Barak is going to destroy them niggas, you know. But next scripture I want to get is in Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 8. It reads, well, I'm going to get 9. It says, wilt thou yet say before him that slaved thee, I am God, but thou shalt be a man and no God, in the hand of him that slayeth thee. You know, because this devil, these Edomites, they think they the most high. You know, they think they're the most high with this technology. You know, they have a God complex. So this is what the scripture is saying. Wilt thou yet say before him that slaved thee, I am God? So when the Heavenly Father sends his son Yahawashi, are you going to tell Yahawashi that you are God? That you are above him? The Lord is being facetious, man. The Lord is asking a rhetorical question. You know, it says, but thou shalt be a man and no God. How are you going to be a man and no God? Because Yahawashi is going to put you to death, man. Yahawashi said, for the scripture said, Yahawashi is not coming to meet thee as a man. You know, he's coming as a extraterrestrial being, man, with spiritual power, with a double-edged sword in his hand, man. You know, and it says, in the hand of him that slaved thee, verse 10, thou shalt die the deaths of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers, for I have spoken it, saith Yahawah Barak. You know, so Yahawah Barak got great judgment coming for the wicked, as well as 2/3 of the nation of Israel, man. You know, cause man, let me get 2 Thessalonians, I believe is the second chapter. Yeah, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. You know, so what? Pretty much the coming day of the Lord, you know, it's not going to come unless what? Because Israel had to fall away as a nation first. We had to be discontinued from our heritage, you know. So before even the son of the man of sin being revealed, we had to fall away, and that's that man that man that is of sin. You know, the son of perdition is talking about Edom, the so-called white man. But we're in a time now to where we're revealing this devil. We're revealing who Esau Edom is. And we're also revealing his agenda. You know, and his agenda is what? To establish a new world order with a biometric system using that RFID chip as the new currency, and to monitor and track you. You know, it says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God and that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So how's this devil trying to sit in the temple of the Most High? By placing an RFID chip within you. This devil wants to place a RFID chip in you because what? The scriptures say, for we are God's temple. You know, 1 Corinthians 3:16. However, this devil wants to sit up in you. This Edomite wants to sit up in you by way of a chip so he can monitor your thoughts, so he knows your thoughts, so he can control your mood swings. He can control your financial, he can control where you go, where you don't go, where he knows where you're gonna go, where you're not gonna go. That's why they're making movies on it, man. Total Recall, Divergent, Insurgent, just to name a few. I believe Demolition Man, if I'm not mistaken. There's movies on it, but this devil can only live out his agenda through a green screen, man, because Yahawashi is going to put an end to his madness, man. And so I'm going to read that again. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above that is called God. So this devil got pride, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. It says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now ye know that withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who will now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So Yahawashi is letting you do your thing at this current moment, because even at this time, this was during the Roman Empire, but we're in the second leg of the Roman Empire, and this is the time to where Yahawashi is revealing you. Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, tells us, for is a time and purpose, so it's a purpose. There's a purpose for every time under the heavens, roughly paraphrasing, But we in a time now where you devils gonna be taken out of the way, Verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And that's why, we're so gun-ho upon doing the work, because we got to destroy you devils with the spirit of the Lord's mouth, then with the brightness of his coming. And what's the spirit of the Lord's mouth? This truth, this Bible. Here it is. This devil is called the devil because what? He's a deceiver. He lies. One way to kill a lie is with the truth. That's how you consume him with the spirit of the Lord's mouth, man. And that's why this devil is, he got to come at us delicately, because he don't know, he can't combat this truth. That's why they're going to try to demonize us. I remember this one demon came up to the camp, it was a demon, talking about ISIS, trying to call us ISIS. Here it is, she had a demon on her, but who knows, they may try to link the true men of the Lord up with ISIS. Everything is played out in the spiritual realm first, and then it comes on the physical. Here that demon that was resting upon her, it came from the heavens, But what? That spirit entered her body and it started to speak, talking about ISIS. So, but what? It remains to be seen, It remains to be seen. But what the point is that we doing this work to destroy you devils with the spirit of the Lord's mouth. Give, the people warning, but only the elect is going to be prepared for that day. Because Yahawashi is going to increase him at that last end, man. And I believe you could read, matter of fact, let me get Isaiah, the 14th chapter, because you devils are going to be humbled, man, through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. It says, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? It's talking about America, this devil. It says, Yahweh have broken the staff of the wicked. Yahawashi have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in the wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. And he's ultimately trying to do that with that chip, with the mark of the beast. It says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Why? Because this devil's being rooted out of power. It says, yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth, and have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. And they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? How does devil weaken the nations? By the sword, man, because that was his blessing, you know? Because that was his blessing. But we're in a time now to where these devils are being humbled. You know, they're being brought down low. They're falling from that heavenly state, you know what I'm saying? Because their strength lied in their secrecy, but now their secrecy is being exposed, you know, which is their agenda. It says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also.
Dispatch 2530.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Copy that, dispatch.
So this devil think so this devil think that he's the Most High. That's his mind state. So we got to drop on you devils, man. We got to drop on you Edomites. We know what you think.
25 signal 30.
We know what you think. Let's see. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? And all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thus through with a sword, and go down to the stones of a pit as a carcass trodden under feet, that shall not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned, you know? So you devils are never going to be remembered, man, for all the wickedness that you've done. Yahawashi is bringing you devils low, man. And it's happening spiritually. We just waiting it to manifest in the physical form, man. You know, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. It's running kind of long, you know. But Lord willing, the elect is edified, you know. Because the elite's agenda is to implant that chip, man, which is the mark of the beast. But it will come to pass to a certain degree. But Yahawah Barak is going to stop him in his tracks. So with that, I would like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahawah Barak, double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect across the four corners of the earth who firmly believe on Yahawah Barak. Shalom.